So UEFA has announced plans to tackle head-on the murky world of third-party ownership. The morally ambiguous practice, which essentially enables independent investors the chance to buy a stake in a footballer and then earn money from any future transfer dealings, isn't anything new in football, but it's on the rise. And one of the key protagonists responsible for the growth is, perhaps unsurprisingly, one of the most powerful men in football. So what do we know about Jorge Mendes?
Jorge Mendes is a hugely powerful and influential intermediary who is somebody who brokers transfers at the highest level now, and his growth in influence has been extraordinary. His real breakthrough into the Premier League was bringing a young Cristiano Ronaldo from Sporting Lisbon to Manchester United in 2003. That's where he made the connection with Peter Kenyon, and Kenyon moved to Chelsea, and after Porto won the Champions League in 2004, Jorge Mendes brokered or negotiated the move of Jose Mourinho to become Chelsea's coach.
Mendes is obviously a powerful character, and he's earned the trust of some of the most discerning figures in the game. So why does he attract so much controversy?
This summer, Jorge Mendes reached a kind of fruition where almost all the biggest transfer deals, so James Rodriguez from Monaco to Real Madrid, Angel Di Maria from Real Madrid to Manchester United for £60 million, Diego Costa, Atletico Madrid to Chelsea £30 million, Eliakim Mangala, Porto to Manchester City £32 million. One after another, Jorge Mendes was the man who did the deal. And I think that Jorge Mendes himself, or the fund that he and Peter Kenyon are representing, have stated in this document that we've seen that he has actually brokered 68% by financial value of all the player transactions that were done by Porto, Sporting Lisbon and Benfica in the whole decade from 2001 to 2010. And that is just an extraordinary dominance. But where it becomes genuinely concerning and appears to be a breach of the FIFA agents regulations, they say that agents must do all they can to avoid conflicts of interest. But Jorge Mendes and Peter Kenyon are advising this investment fund to buy stakes in players, particularly at those Portuguese clubs, and also they describe Atletico Madrid as a partner club. If you own or you advise a fund which owns a stake in a player and therefore has a financial interest in that player being sold and in making money and making a return that way, and they're looking for a 32% annual return, which is a huge return on money, and you also are the agent for the player and it's your interest to advise the player on his best career development, there's a potential conflict of interest there. And even in the document itself that the fund produced looking for investments, they say there are inherent conflicts of interest. That's actually stated in a section under the heading conflicts of interest.
So where do you stand on this complicated issue? On the one hand, third-party ownership enables opportunities and advantages for players that they might not necessarily get, not least because it allows for clubs to finance deals they couldn't necessarily afford. The flip side of that, of course, is that third-party ownership sometimes puts the interests of the investors ahead of the player, which surely can't be a good thing. Where do you stand on this subject, people? Let us know in the comments below. Is it a necessary part of the modern game, or should it be stamped out for good? And if you're interested in the subject, plenty more where that came from. The Guardian's own Gibson gives us his take on third-party ownership, which you can watch right there. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for lots more great content. We'll see you soon.